relations here in Dublin. I mean, India has rapidly grown into an economic powerhouse. Given this backdrop, I would love to hear your views on the lessons it offers to the world in terms of digital innovation and multilateral governance, particularly for emerging economies that are striving to uphold democratic values amidst economic uncertainties.
Thank you. Maybe I could take about 3 questions to make it easier.
Okay, so on the just next to you.
Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Indian Embassy, His Excellency H.E Mishra ji, organizing this wonderful opportunity to engage with the Honorable External Affairs Minister. And it's good to see Ambassador Kevin Kelly here as well. A special thank you to Dr. S Jaishankar sir for your visit to Dublin and for taking the time to meet with Indian diaspora here. So considering the close cultural connections and the growing economic relationship between India and Ireland, and the Indian population here, absolutely. So I, Councillor Supriya Singh, a Dublin City Councillor from Indian origin, would like to ask you if there are any discussions at the government level about establishing direct air connectivity between Dublin and New Delhi. Between the two capital takes over 18 hours to
Yeah, no, I don't think.
Yeah. So that has a direct flight of 9.5 hours. A direct route.
No, I think they all got the point.
Is going to enhance the cultural ties and the tourism and
Sure.
So
Okay.
can the Indian government please engage?
No, got it.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
maybe one more, Ada. Maybe up towards the back in a sense of fairness.
Yes.
Mr. Dr. Jaishankar, thank you so much for talking to us. I'm Arpita Chaudhary. I'm doing my master's in journalism and international affairs at UCT here. And also wanted to mention that I am here on the BBG Radio Excellence Scholarship. My question to you is that with Ireland's universities attracting a growing number of Indian students in STEM and business courses, how do you think that this can be leveraged for the India-Ireland strategic cooperation and also deepening our collaboration on global issues such as digital governance, climate change, and multilateral diplomacy?
Thank you. Should I go?
I think so.
Right. The first issue, are there digital lessons from what's happening in India? I believe they are. But rather than lessons, I would say there are experiences, there are technologies, there are practices that we have developed over the last decade especially. And in India today, that has become very critical. It has become very critical because it has, for example, because you're asking me about emerging markets, emerging developing countries, on governance, for example, it can be a real game changer. It can be sometimes something very routine. All of you, for example, would have got passports in some form in the last few years, and reflect on how much harder it was to get passports, how much longer it took, or if you lose a passport, which I wouldn't like you to do, how quickly it is possible to replace it. And all of that is actually happening because we are run today on databases and the ability to access passport information and anything to do with actually enabling somebody to get a passport. But it's not just passports. So if we have a big housing program in India. In the last 10 years, we've built about 40 million houses, basically for people of very low income. We are able to actually target exactly who is eligible for that. Similarly, free or subsidized health access. Today, more than half of India, in some form, has access to health facilities. Even food, that there are 815 million people who every month, to better their nutrition, are actually eligible and do receive, basic carbohydrates and basic nutrients. So what it has done, whether it's the income tax, whether it is, the entitlements of people, whether it's information, the digital tools and a digital foundation, what we call a digital public infrastructure, has been extraordinarily effective, really today. And once you get into that mindset, there are a whole lot of other add-on technologies as well. So what we are trying to do is to take that approach to other countries and telling them, look, here are the technology providers. This is how we have done it. Feel free to talk to them. In some cases, we are even financing pilot projects or actual projects doing that. And our approach to digital itself is very much in terms of the public infrastructure side of it. It's, to that extent, it's somewhat different from the earlier models of the dominant digital players. On the air connectivity, fortunately, a few years ago, we privatized Air India. So I can honestly tell you that your question should be redirected elsewhere. So, having said that, I'll put in a word. Look, I tell you right now what is the biggest problem which all the airlines are facing. We have the two biggest are Indigo and Air India. There are other players as well. India is right now a country where actually the airlines are doing well. They've placed big orders for new aircraft. But unfortunately, the delivery of aircraft has got delayed. So I know, from both the big airlines that they're very, very keen to expand their operations. Certainly, I will speak to them of the attractions and virtues of coming here, and let me see what I can do. For the V.V. Giri scholarship, and I'm glad you brought that up, because when I said I know among the alumni is a very distinguished president of India, that's exactly who I meant. And in fact, I think President just gave me a biography of V.V. Giri as well when I came in. Look, very interesting things today are happening in terms of we spoke about digital. I could take this across a whole set of other domains: the semiconductor domain, the space domain, the drones. I do think today people who have a very solid STEM education, it depends on people again. We are also in a way trying to encourage an innovation spirit, if you would. We are asking young people, and it's there's not just a question of giving a speech or exhorting. I mean, one change, for example, is how do you fund? How do you get banks to give loans to young people who actually don't have a business record, but who have the keenness to start up something? When we look at the future of India today, definitely, I think where the government is concerned, we would like to see much greater youth entrepreneurship. We have this very strong belief in the innovative abilities of the youth. There are some sectors where it's already visible. Space is a very good example that if one space, in fact, I would say even drones. I mean, I often, when I look at the startup companies, I mean, these are all people who have really done it in the last 2, 3, 5 years. So certainly India will have more opportunities. As I said, I can also see the world coming to India in a bigger way through global capability centers and joint ventures and so on. But at the same time, we also do believe in a global workplace. I think if there are opportunities elsewhere, look, everybody in some way, wherever they are, whatever they're doing is contributing. And I think it's up to your comfort level. Often there are personal choices involved as well. So I think each one of you will make that decision. And what is important is that you keep that confidence in yourself that today you all have opportunities, you've had an exposure, there are learnings out here, there are possibilities in India, with India, or with partners of India. And I think that's really what you should be exploring.
So we're very honoured to have the Minister's time here at UCD, and we don't want to be responsible for him being late for his next engagement. So we have to call the speech and the discussion to a close. We do want to have a memory of the occasion, so if we could ask some of the PIs present if we could stage some photographs with the Minister just before you leave, Minister, if that is okay.
Oh, sure. I was just wondering whether I could get a photograph of everybody. So here's my suggestion, if you don't mind.